So here we are in New Albany, Mississippi. We're going to do a trip around town. I want you to see some of the full self-driving beta 10.8 and how it operates. We're going to start from a stop. Here we go. So one of the things that I've noticed about the new full self-driving beta is there's a lot of improvements, but one of the things I wanted to highlight was how it operates. So he's telling me I can go. The car obviously wouldn't know that, so I went ahead and gave it some gas. So one of the things I wanted to do was highlight how it operates in poorly marked rural areas. So here we are, it's raining in a kind of a rural town, less than 10,000 people. And I want to show how the car operates in this type of environment. So we've had multiple cars come through. The car doesn't go, so I have to give it gas. Once two cars went, it should have gone on and went. Now it's saying the full self-driving may not be at its optimal level because of the rain. So we'll see how it operates. Now this is kind of a weird turn and a perfect moment to be on camera. So you've got a car coming, full self-driving. It's handling it okay. You can see this is kind of a tight curve, no lines. It's handling this pretty well. I didn't disengage. Kind of scary, but I didn't disengage. Now we're coming to this stop sign and it stops way early. Nobody stops this far back. Let's see how it manages it. It's kind of stopping and going and stopping and going. It's got to make a right. Does okay over the railroad tracks, then it accelerates super hard and then stops, going right at this white car, and then comes over. You can see when the roads aren't well marked, it rides in the middle. And so it almost operates better when there are other cars. See, the road's not marked well at all. That was all kind of hard back there. It did a good job, I thought. Even though it's a little scary to the human, I think the car almost operates like a, you know, my son's 13, he's learning to drive. It's almost like an emerging driver. It's learning to drive. It's not there yet, but it's learning. Good job right here stopping at the stop sign. I'm going to cancel the navigation and put in a different spot because I don't want to go right here. This right where it was wanting us to go is just a little bit steep, too difficult. So let's put it in here and navigate and let it handle this 4-lane up here.
Turn right onto State Highway 15 North.
So no disengagement so far. And you can see this is challenging. It's doing a lot of hard braking, like right there, it brakes super hard, really no reason at all. Making a right, kind of freaking out, but it made the right. It's just real jittery and then accelerates super harsh, right? I don't know why it thinks it has to accelerate so hard. All right, let's put in Walmart, see how it handles that.
Drive south on State Highway 15 North for 1.4
Alright, so it's wanting to go to Walmart on the freeway. Now, if you ask my son, he would tell you that the car is a little bit wild on the freeway, entering and exiting. So, I'm curious to see how this goes. You can see it manages this. This is just bread and butter. Just going fine, but it's doing well in the rain. I think. Red light ahead. Sees the red light well. Slowing well. I like this. It's not an aggressive slowdown. It's probably even using the regenerative braking. Good accelerating. Braked in the middle of the intersection there. I don't know why. Braking now, scared of that white car up there. Kind of crazy that this whole trip it hasn't disengaged at all, that I haven't had to disengage. There were some squirrely moments there early too. Alright, so up here on the right, we're about to make a right. We're going to slow, make a right, and then get on the freeway. The car generally slows super hard, then it makes the turn and then it accelerates super fast. Now what I've noticed, see there's a super hard brake in the rain. Now it's going to make the right. Now what I love is that that truck is in front of us. And here's why. When there's vehicles, I think the car doesn't accelerate as aggressive. You could see it wanted to accelerate to 70, but it can't. Huge truck in front of us. I really think full self-driving does best in traffic when the cars in front and behind you can kind of modulate the traffic. Now it's sort of freaking out. Braking, accelerating, super hard acceleration right there. It's a real challenging moment though. And it's doing pretty well. A lot of water in the road. I gotta say, this is pretty impressive. Water in the air. You can see the Tesla vision is awfully good for it to be able to make it through all this, and I still haven't disengaged. I don't generally like to ride beside a truck like this, so I'm going to slow it down. I'm trying to slow, and it seems like the truck's slowing too. Alright, now he can get over. Let's see if he does. But if this is your first time watching full self-driving beta, you should be impressed. You may not can tell on camera, the car's been super jittery and turny, but I haven't disengaged and it's working great. This has been a challenging drive. I mean, we merged into traffic on the freeway. You saw that early turn. A lot of kind of weird situations, and it's handled it well. Alright, so now it's going to exit. Let's see how it manages this exit. And it may not do it. There may be enough rain that it's not going to do it. No, it didn't do it. I had to disengage. Too much rain.
Turn left onto Highway 30.
Alright, turning it back on. It may not work because of the rain. Let's see.
Now turn left onto Highway 30.
No, not going to work because of the rain. Alright, so now let's let it navigate to Walmart. And one of the interesting things about this little town is you can see on the road, this is a main road in town, and there's not a single lane marking. And so it's interesting, and then there's often cars parked on the side of the road, so I think it's interesting how it handles this. One of the things I wish it would do, and it's probably going to brake hard, usually when it sees this car up here parked on the side, it brakes like super hard. But it didn't that time. That was pretty good. Alright, so now it's coming up to the stop sign and handling it well, but it's just stopping super short of it. Good job looking. Now, then you'll come up on roads that are well marked like this. So we're on the exact same road, and now it's well marked. Another stop sign ahead, blinking above and to the right with a sign. Let's see how it handles it. Good job. You can see the visualization's great. The way the visualization looks is awesome. And obviously when the road is marked like this, it handles it great. It's been raining, so you can see it's still raining a little bit, off and on. The full self-driving has turned off on me and back on me. It's kind of been back and forth whether or not it's going to work. When the rain gets pretty heavy, it does definitely slow up.
In 500 feet, turn
Sorry, what I meant to say is when the rain gets heavy, then full self-driving turns off. And it basically turns into like how the car was prior to full self-driving. Alright, going right here. Kind of a weird deal the way this works. We got to go right, and then we got to move over a couple lanes to go left. Made a super hard right.
Now turn
And
left onto
can't make the left. Let's see if it's going to make it. Not giving a whole lot of confidence to the car behind us, who's now beside us. Let's see what it does. Got to make an unprotected left. Got a truck here on our left. It's kind of pulling out and stopped. Good job. So I'm going to go ahead and give it some gas, and I'm going to make it make the left because it wasn't going to make it. So I had to disengage there. It struggled at that intersection each time because it has to move over so many lanes. Now, here's another thing, that this curve up here, the speed limit's 35, but this curve shouldn't be taken at 35. This curve should be slowed down and maybe taken at 20, and it did a pretty good job that time. Now, it's accelerating hard through it, but that was pretty good. All right, up here, we're going to kind of curve into a right turning lane and then make a right. So let's see how it handles this.
Now turn right,
going awfully fast, and then it slows hard. Good job getting in the turn lane perfectly. I don't know that I'd have done that any different except slowing earlier. Now let's see how it accelerates. Usually what it does is when it gets in the turn, it accelerates super hard. It should go ahead and go. The car behind me's got to be frustrated, so I'm giving it gas. I don't know what it was waiting on. So I gave it gas, and now here it goes. It's slowing. I don't know if it thinks that car over there is coming in our lane, but it kind of a phantom brake there. Another brake. Brakes hard. Doing a good job coming around the curve. I think all this is really good. Another phantom brake. Just about every car it phantom brakes for. Didn't for that one though. Alright, now we're coming up on an intersection that's super heavily trafficked. We're by Walmart, and there will be a lot of traffic up here. Let's see how it handles it. Creeping up on its own. Obviously, I'm not doing any braking or giving it any acceleration. Did all of that on its own. Very impressive. So far, still this entire drive, only one disengagement. Good job braking for the truck that was turning ahead. I love how it adjusts the speed limit on its own. I haven't adjusted the speed limit at all. So you can see the traffic up ahead.
Turn right onto State Highway 30
I'm curious how it handles this right turn, because this is an interesting intersection coming up. Oh, super hard brake, like emergency brake. And no reason to do that. I would imagine, I saw a YouTuber say this, I would imagine that using the full self-driving will wear your brakes out faster than if you just drove your car yourself. Because like right there, you could hear it grinding into the brake pads, trying to stop. And it's hard to express on camera how hard that brake was. It was a very hard brake. Now, I think one of the cool things is just how much the camera can see. Right, so this is impressive that it can see 1, 2, 3, 4, all these cars up ahead. It's got the right blinker on, but it's way off to the left. It should move over like everybody else over there. There it goes. Good job. Good job. Sort of jerking. Like I say, it's like a 13-year-old learning to drive. Long way back. I don't know why it's this far back. Let's go, car. Let's go. Plenty of go time. Nobody coming. Good job. Good job. And then accelerates super hard. And then brakes. Like, it's crazy the speed at which it does stuff. Instead of just kind of gradually working its way up, it does everything super aggressively. And I've got it even on chill mode. Now, two settings to note. I've got it on chill for the acceleration, but I've got it on a aggressive, or whatever you call it, for the full self-driving, so that it'll be more decisive. So, you know, two different settings there. It's not on both on chill. It's meant to be decisive from a decision-making standpoint in full self-driving, but then chill from an acceleration standpoint. So I'm curious to hear in the comments what your settings are. All right, now up ahead, if you watch another one of the YouTube videos I made, this is where it kind of jumped off into the opposite lane into oncoming traffic. So let's see how it handles that. I'm going to get myself good and ready. Because down here, it moved into the turn lane when it was supposed to go right, and then it jumped into oncoming traffic. So you can check out that video. It's one of the first ones that I made when we got the Tesla. All right, doing a pretty good job. Here's where it moved into the turning lane, and then from there it jumped in where that Tahoe or whatever that is.
Left onto West Bankhead Street.
Didn't do it this time. Handled it real well that time. All right, moving in the, doing a good job.
Turn left onto West Bankhead Street.
Left blinker on, great job there. Impressive it's doing all this in the rain too, I think. Again, I think the visualization of all the traffic is impressive. All right, here we go. Good job with that left. I thought that couldn't have been better. I thought that was an appropriate amount of acceleration. Again, when you see a car ahead, I think the car full self-driving does a better job managing its speeds when it's got a car in front of it, because they're going at an appropriate rate, and so the Tesla goes at the rate they're going at. Now it's about to make a right. It's going super fast, way too fast. No way it makes this right. Yeah, good God. Up on two wheels, basically. That wasn't good. Went from 45 to 15 just like that. So I think that's too aggressive. I'm going to report that.
In 500 feet.
All right, so poorly marked, and it's freaking out, right? It doesn't know what to do. It's like going back and forth in the lane. I think it makes the cars around it uncomfortable as it moves back and forth in the lane. But then when you get some markings, it does pretty well. Now this is basically an impossible left turn. Let's see how it handles it. Stopped way too short. I'm giving it gas. Shouldn't have stopped there. Right turn that's tough up there. Can't see over the hill, but it handled it. Only thing I had to do was give it a little gas to get it up to the stop sign. Outside of that, it handled it perfect. And you can see this is a real tight road, kind of a dangerous road. You can see how many drop-offs into ditches there are. Phantom braking there. I don't know what it's doing. I don't know if reflections off the wet road affect the camera. I don't know what's going on. Why it's choosing to brake.
In 1,000 feet, turn right onto Santee Barkley Drive.
All right, so we're about to make a right at this stop sign. Perfectly marked road. Lots of phantom braking. It's braking still. But now it's going to make a right.
Now turn right
It's
onto
going too
Santee
fast.
Barkley Drive.
Now it's braking hard, but made a good right. So if I had to give a comment, and there's nobody here, and it says it's checking for the visibility. I mean, nothing to block the visibility. Don't know what in the world it's looking at. All right, so if I had to give one comment, I would say it speeds up, slows down too fast. Still too much phantom braking. There was some more. The second thing it does is when it's going to turn, it goes full speed till it's time to turn. It needs to slow faster and just kind of do things more gradually. Like I said, when there's a car in front, it does a better job of being gradual because the car in front's gradual, and so it's forced to kind of operate that way. Now, I think this will be interesting how it handles this road. You can see the road's marked right here, but here in just a second it won't be. So when we get up here, there's basically no marking, and the speed limit's 45. One thing I've noticed, when there's no marking, the car slows to 30. So when the marking goes away, you can see now the marking's kind of faint, and look, it's braking down to 30. Car behind us has got to be frustrated. Now, I'm telling it can go 50. It doesn't want to. I'm giving it gas because there's a car behind us, making it go 50 right now. It doesn't really understand what's going on because the lines are in and out. And this is what I'm talking about in Mississippi being kind of a rural area. I'm giving it the accelerator. Now the other thing it's doing is riding basically in the middle of the road. So a poorly marked road where the speed limit is 45, should be going 45. It wants to go 30 because it can't see the markings in the road. So all through here, I'm giving it accelerator. It keeps wanting to slow. I'm not letting it slow. It keeps trying to slow. You can see on the, if you're watching the graphics, the lines will disappear and come back, disappear and come back, disappear and come back. So right there, they disappeared, and the car brakes. So I'm having to give it gas. Every time they disappear, the car wants to go 30. And I would do that if there wasn't a car behind us, but I'm having to give it accelerator. You see it's disappeared, and so it wants to slow to 30. Well, it's not appropriate to ride on this road where the speed limit's 45 at 30 miles an hour. I'm still giving it accelerator. Still giving it accelerator. It keeps wanting to slow. I'm not letting it. Now, when the markings come up, I won't have to. Good markings show up, and then we're good to go. So now it's going to make a right. Going super slow right now. I don't know. I got it max 56. It's going 17. Car behind me's got to be like, what in the world? All right, I want to see how it manages this because I can't really see. There's a big truck. Car behind it. It's giving gas. Stop, car. There's a giant truck there. All right. I think that was our second disengagement outside of the acceleration I had to give it on that road. I mean, literally, it was pulling out in front of that big truck up there. All right, so we've made the loop of New Albany, and now we're headed south on Highway 15. About to make a right on Highland, headed towards the Calico Mushroom. So you can see I'm going 55, about to turn right at the light. A human would probably already be slowing. It's not slowing at all. Still not slowing. Still not slowing. I mean, the car in front of us has brake lights on. I'm uncomfortable right now. I didn't slow. It handled it. But it just, I don't know. That's a little aggressive, I think. All right, accelerating on its own. Good job. About to make a right. Good right. Accelerates through the right super aggressively. Okay, now here we are again. Unmarked road. No lines in it at all. But a heavily trafficked road. You can see phantom brake right there. Speed limit's 30. We're going 26. Handled the curve well. Stop sign coming up. And I think this is fairly comfortable. We're about to come up to a turn that's quite difficult. Oh gosh, really accelerated real hard right there. I would love to see in the car modes.
Bear left to stay on Highland Street, then turn left onto North Central Avenue.
I'd love to see in the car modes, like you could have like a grandpa mode where it won't be so aggressive in its acceleration and its turns.
Now bear left to stay on Highland Street.
Handling this pretty well right here. This is kind of a weird intersection. You can see splits, no stop sign. It put on the blinker even though there's not a stop sign, but now we're about to make a left, and this is a crazy left. No traffic, cool, jumping all over the place. Man, yeah, I'm happy I got that on film. I mean, it was really jumping around. It handled it, it did it. Now it's coming down through here to make basically a 90-degree right. Good job. That was the right we came back through earlier whenever we passed that red van or whatever. Is kind of uncomfortable. Now, car coming, we're in the middle of the road, so now it gets over and comes to a stop. Look, we're going 10 miles an hour. Oh gosh, look, it was headed, I had to disengage there. It was headed right at that truck. Don't know what that was. You can see when the lines go away,
turn left onto
the car struggles a lot more. And this is what you're going to see in a lot of communities. You're not going to see perfectly marked roads. All right, so kind of in conclusion, a few things you saw a couple disengagements, not terrible, but disengagements where if I wasn't driving the car, it would have been bad. couple things. I wish there was like a grandpa mode, a regular mode, and then I wish there was like a, you know, super aggressive mode where it would, if you're on grandpa mode, it accelerates slow, it brakes slow, it kind of does things the way that somebody who's not in a hurry would do. Overall, very impressive, but also I think a long way still to go.